What's up, Line Creek Baptist Church family? This morning I got my Christmas shirt on from last year, and I actually made a joke a few days ago, and I said, "Is it Christmas yet?" Because it just seems like all the days are running together, and it even seems like Easter is not going to be a normal or usual Easter. It's probably going to be a very weird time. But let me remind you that this Easter season or even this next Christmas season, that it's not about all of the things that sometimes we associate with Easter or Christmas. Sometimes we can get in a rut, and we can think that if we don't have certain conditions or certain things, that we cannot celebrate and enjoy that holiday and that celebration. But let me remind you that we may not be meeting face to face this Easter, but can I encourage you with the fact that Jesus is still on his throne, that God is still God, and that we can still live and we can still live out the truths of Christianity because he lives. And so the physical church may be empty, but the tomb is never empty. And because he lives, we can have faith. Let me encourage you with this Bible verse this morning, and I hope that it will bless you. James 1, verses 2 through 4 says this: "Count it joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect, complete, lacking in nothing." So what kind of trials were these people going through? First off, many of them, they were dispersed all over the world. Their churches were being broken up. They were experiencing persecution. They were experiencing the trial of just the struggle of sin, the struggle of life. And so they were going through all kinds of different trials. And James wrote to them and said, in the midst of your trials, have joy. And you may say, well, how can I have joy in my trials? How can I have joy in those things? And we could list what are some trials that we're going through. Maybe it's the trials of health, the trials of finances, the trials of not being able to go to work or to go to church, or just some personal or emotional trials, things that you're going through or you've been through or you will go through. But the question is, how do we have joy in the midst of these trials? And the answer is this: it's because we know that God uses trials in our life to grow our faith, that we may reach a point of steadfastness. It says that you will be perfect and complete. Let me ask you a question: when will you be perfect and complete? I think there's two answers to this. One, either when you die and you go to be with the Lord, or when the Lord comes back. In other words, as long as you have breath in your lungs, as long as you're on this earth alive, every single day you should be growing. You should be reaching that idea of the end of your life, that completion, that glorification, and that every single day you're growing in your faith. In other words, as long as you're living, you have room to grow. And so the joy is that you know that God uses all things for his glory, all things for his good, and he's going to use this moment in your life to grow you in your faith. And so I want to encourage you, whatever you're going through, have joy. Have joy, because joy comes from the Lord. And then I want you to read that next verse. You may say, well, how can I have joy? How can I get through these trials? How can I deal with what I'm dealing through? James 1:5 says, "If anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him." So let me encourage you. If you are struggling, go to the Lord and say, God, give me the wisdom and the ability to understand what to do and how to get through this. I love you and praying for you, and I hope that you will find the joy in the midst of your trial, in your hardship. I actually wrote in my Bible, trials can make us bitter or better. And so I want you to think about that today. Are you allowing God to use this to help you, to grow you? Or are you letting this trial that you're going through make you further away from the Lord? So I hope you'll seek the Lord today and experience his blessings and his mercies in a new and fresh way. Hope y'all have a great day.